In this short video, I'm going to share with you something I call the 5C's. If you want to do well in 2025 and all the years beyond, the old method of marketing doesn't work. I'm going to share with you in this video something I call the 5C's. I'm going to break down what each of the 5C's mean. I'm going to share with you why we have reached this place and how you can use each of these components to build yourself an empire. My name is Melvin. I've done marketing for the last 18 years. I've witnessed marketing evolve through different cycles. And we are at a cycle now called the 5C's. Will it stay here forever? Absolutely not. I'm going to walk you through how do we reach this stage called the 5C's. You see, marketing is very interesting. When you see something over a long period of time, you see how things evolve. Here's how it starts. There's a cool new marketing idea. Everybody jumps on it. Eventually, it hits saturation point. Everyone gets real jaded about it. They jump off ship, and a new cool idea happens. The life cycle, in my 18 years experience of each marketing method taking shape, taking form, hitting saturation point, then stopping, and people jumping off is about 3 to 4 years, sometimes a lot shorter. So we're right now at my last 18 years experience, we're right now at the cycle I call the 5C's. How do we get here? Very simple. There used to be a marketing method before that was pretty simple. It didn't have to build a brand, didn't have to do content, and that was just simply running an ad, sending people to a landing page, asking them to attend either a preview, a live presentation, or a webinar, and then afterwards closing the heck out of them. That method I call 2015 to 2019 marketing. Right here in Asia, I have a lot of friends who are just simply making millions and millions of dollars using that method. Back from 2015 all the way to 2019, the answer to every single thing was to run more ads. If you ran more ads and sent more people to the landing page and had more people come to your presentation and you closed the shit out of them, everything was great. Also, the reason that could work is because back then, the competition was very, very low. So the amount of sophistication of the market was not very high. People didn't really understand a lot of different things. At the same time, the ability and the competition for ad running was not very high also. So you could just take an image of the internet, slap on 2, 3, 4 lines of copy, and boohoo, you have ads that run. The landing page didn't require a lot of design. You just need to hint and use a curiosity hook to tell people that you could do a bunch of things. And lo and behold, they would arrive. And so that was how marketing was done. All the way from 2015 to 19, you just promise things, run some ads, and people just magically show up. However, one thing really wrecked all of it, and that one thing is COVID. So when COVID hit in 2020, a lot of people couldn't run live previews anymore. So that was one thing that kind of changed the game. The second thing that changed the game was late 2019. There started to be a rise of content creators who were doing long-form podcasts, where the long-form podcast was 1, 2, 3, 4 hours even. They brought on amazing guests. They had the guests share amazing information. And I can tell you that the podcast itself, if you watched it, at the end of which you thought to yourself, this is much better than some people's coaching program. People are paying for coaching programs then 5, 10, 20, 25K. And this podcast was actually delivering much more value, just more actionable tips, deeper knowledge and wisdom than some people's long-form podcasts. And so people thought to themselves, hey, you know what? Why am I even paying for any coaching program when I can get free content out there? And I could see this starting the disruption of information also. Because why? Because before, information was only given to you if you came for the preview, paid a lot of money, and then signed up for more and bought more stuff and signed up for more stuff. But now you have a lot of information that's freely available on the internet. Now, during COVID, a lot of folks were stuck at home. And so they could not go out there, do their business, etc. So what they do, they turn on the camera and shot a whole bunch of content. And during COVID, the amount of content creation, the people sharing free knowledge, interviews, information, ideas, etc. exploded. I have a lot of friends who went from just being in a dead-end job pre-COVID to during COVID time, turning on the camera and building for themselves a following, an audience, and a brand and a business. And COVID trained everyone to follow people, to watch their content, to consume that. And if you created content during COVID, you did really, really well. Now, as COVID started to wind down, people's thinking patterns changed. And so during COVID time, people just started following content creators and this kind of thing, and that became the norm. We didn't want to click on ads anymore unless and until we knew who that person was. And so that led to the birth of the 5C's. The birth of the 5C's is everybody who after COVID kind of noticed something interesting change. You couldn't go back to running marketing the way it was before COVID. If you just ran an ad, spent more money, and told people you could do stuff, people just didn't click it anymore. Why? Because we started following people whose content we consume first. If I follow you, if I watch your stuff, if I hear from you consistently, you stuck out in my mind. And those were the people that we click their ads, we follow their offers, we show up for their workshops. But if I don't know who you are, I'm not going to come. And so that led to the birth of the 5C's, which you're getting to in just right now. What are the 5C's? The 5C's are to be done in sequence. So it's not just like, just all of these are equally important. No, you got to do one, then two, then three, then four, then five. The first C is character. Character means what? Before you turn on the camera, you got to be very, very clear and sure what is the character you want to present yourself as. If you're watching this video, there's so many characters and identities that you have. If you're a male, you could be a son, you could be a boyfriend, or you could be a husband, you could be a father, you could be a manager, you could be a leader, you could be, an adrenaline junkie, you could be a soccer player, you could be a dancer. There's so many identities that you possibly could be. So which is the identity that you want to showcase to people? You are all of these things. However, people do not have enough time when they watch the video to really thin slice all of these different identities. So you have to immediately let people know which identity you are. And so sitting down and spending that time to really craft that identity is really important. And similarly, if you're a female, right? Which identity are you going to showcase? Are you going to showcase the feminine side? Are you going to showcase the female empowerment side? Are you going to showcase the girl boss side? Are you going to showcase the one where you want to be an impact, a leader, a thought leader? Which side are you going to showcase? And how are you going to depict that life? So a lot of times when my partner Brian and I sit down with clients, we actually help them work out what exactly is the character they want to put forth. Some of the things we want to showcase more, some of the things we want to showcase less, some of the things we want to depict and have the camera really capture. These things form the character. It's very important to discover what I call your X factor. As you watch this video, you might be thinking, do I have an X factor? Of course you have an X factor. You see, I believe the great creator, God, universe, whatever you want to call it, made every single one of us unique. Your fingerprint is unique. Your retina is unique. By the way, these days, if you go to the airport, you don't even have to scan your passport. You just need to look in the camera. Why? Because you have a unique retina. So your eyes are unique, your fingerprint is unique, and certainly some part of you is unique. That's what the X factor is. If you don't think there's a part of you that's unique, it's the only reason. It's not because it's not there, it's because you haven't discovered that. So our job is to help you discover your unique character and how you're going to put forth that on the video. That's the first one. Second of all, we're going to shoot content. Now, content is divided into three different parts. Content, the first one is divided into content that's growth and attention, where if you're scrolling through the reels, like, all the people who are watching this right now, maybe before you clicked on this video, you woke up in the morning, picked out your phone, went to your favorite social media platform, TikTok, IG, etc., and started scrolling through the reels. You're scrolling through cool information, anything that captures your attention. And if they don't capture your attention about 2 to 3, 4 seconds, you go, boop, and you guys move on. Right? So that's growth and attention. We have to, right at the start, stop the scroll. Very important. When I start working with clients also, I always ask them, what is the most controversial, the most direct, the most show-stopping, scroll-stopping sentence you have? And always, it's always the one where you're a little bit scared to say. But that's the one that will stop the scroll. Okay? Before we tell them how great we are, tell our story, if we don't stop the scroll, nobody's going to pay attention to you. First key, growth and attention. We need to be able to do that. Now, after growth and attention, we need to move down to the origin story, right? Because once you stop the scroll and people stop and they're like, oh my God, who is this person? Why is he or she saying this? Who is this? Then they click on your bio, and when they land on your profile, if you have pinned an origin story of who you are, then they get to know you. Now, of course, some people are not going to like you. Some people are going to like you. Hey, we're just here to attract the people that resonate with you. And so they're going to watch your origin story and a whole bunch of things. And that's cool. And then eventually we move down to what I call expertise and value. Like this video right now. This is expertise and value, where I'm walking you through the 5C's. Okay, so that's exactly what we would do. So these are 3 layers of content. Stop the scroll, tell your story, and then give value. So you got to shoot content. Everything is based on content these days. The amount of content consumption is at an all-time high. Just if you go on public transport, if you go to the airport, you go to shopping centers, you see people on their phones all day long. What are they doing? 2 things only. Consuming content or playing games. That's it. Okay, that's all they're doing. Well, they could be on Tinder. You never know, okay? But just largely 2 things. Consuming some kind of content or playing some kind of game. Okay, so if you're not creating content, just flooding people with your advertisements, then hey, it's not very cool. No one's going to click on it. These days, people follow content. Now, right after they follow content, and they're like, okay, this person's kind of interesting, cool. You want to absorb them into your community. Why is that important? Why is it important? Very simple. Because why? Content viewers are not very loyal. They're bored. That's why they're on a content platform. They might follow you. That's cool. But if they don't hear from you after a while, some other person is going to take over their time and their attention and their mind share. But if you absorb this person into your ecosystem, your email list, your Discord, your Telegram, your WhatsApp community, whatever the heck, and you start to build a relationship with them as part of your tribe, then now they're part of who you are. They're part of your community. This is really important. The community has so many layers. Most people actually start out online. Get an email from you, maybe join a Telegram group, then eventually bring them closer and closer to you. This is when they participate in an IG live. They participate in a TikTok live. They get to ask you some questions. They get to hear from you. You answer their questions. They feel a sense of connection with you. Then you say, hey, I'm doing an offline meetup gathering of some sort. And they feel a connection with you. Hands are shaken. Photos are taken. Ooh, that was nice. Shaken, taken. Then they start to feel as they're part of your community. They're like, you know what? Hey, if you give them a shirt, they might even wear the shirt. Now, after community, they feel like they know you right now. So you're not just somebody they watch. That's the part that a lot of people miss out, by the way. Don't build a relationship with people. Just be an entertaining YouTuber. Hey, that's not cool. You got to bring them closer. Now, remember, this whole model, by the way, is to bring people into your ecosystem to eventually become students, clients, and work together with you. That's what we're doing all of these for. So if you are purely running an influencer model whereby you just want to get a bunch of attention and then go on and sell OnlyFans pictures of your, I have no idea, face, feet, butt, whatever, then feel free to ignore everything that I say. Or go on to sell Mr. Beast Feastables or many other t-shirts and merch, then feel free to ignore this because the influencer model is very, very different. I would assume that if you're watching this, probably should have said this right at the start, that you want to get attention, but you want to get appropriate, monetizable attention to bring them closer to you as a client. Before we continue what the 4C is, I want to mention this also because every generation, my favorite topic, every generation has challenges and things they're good at. Young people are amazing at getting attention, but are absolutely horrible at monetization. I've lost count of the number of young people that have told me, oh my God, I have 100K, right? You got gals who are 20 years old, have 150K followers, so many men and boys and maybe some women following them and always commenting and forwarding and liking their pictures. But unless they do something weird, they can't monetize this. I got young boys who are doing push-ups and calisthenics and muscle-ups who are 18 and 20 who don't know how to monetize that attention. Sure, every muscle-up video gets a whole bunch of views, but ain't nobody paying them because they have no concept and idea of how to monetize that. So young people, great at attention getting, not very good at monetization. Older people, always pretty good at monetization. They have thought out the funnel, the flow, how to close and all these things, but not very good at getting attention. Why? I don't know. Is it maturity? Is it rigidity? They don't want to go out there and do a bunch of silly shit. Probably that's why they're older, right? So convincing the older people to embrace beyond just ads, being able to create content, build a community is very important. And being able to teach the younger people how to, yes, have a bunch of attention, but the consistency of a community. Being a leader, that's something you need to teach. Because posting content is one thing. Being able to lead a community is another thing. Then being able to know how to convert, really critical. That's, by the way, if you listen carefully, that's where the 4C is, knowing how to convert. You see, we jump back to the time where, just now when we talked about people meeting up, hands shaken, photos taken, they're part of your community, they like you. You're a community leader. They look up to you. That's cool. But they haven't bought anything yet. Maybe they bought, maybe the gathering free. Maybe they came for the gathering, paid $10. That's not bad. Start the process of conversion. But we want to get them now to be a client. So there are many conversion mechanisms these days. Ever evolving. Used to just be a webinar. Then you had a live preview. These days, you got people who do sales calls. You got people who do book launches. You got people who do low ticket workshops. You got people that come down and hear a talk. Whatever the conversion method. When I sit down with clients, I like to work with them through their X factor, through a conversion method that works really well for them. Why? Because some people are great at giving live workshops, very bad at doing webinars. Some people like writing. Some people like, creating PDFs and infographics and doing short workshops, long workshops, challenges, whatever the heck. People love asking, Melvin, which of the conversion methods work? The answer is they all work. I work with a gentleman called Ken Honda. He has written 100 and I believe 50 or 60 books in the last 20 plus years. Book writing, launching a book, apparently is the way he's built his whole business. If you can pump out 8 books a year, please convert via a book launch. If you like doing whatever, live workshops, I like doing a lot of live workshops or online workshops. They've made me millions and millions and millions of dollars. So whatever method I love to work with you, or if you want to comment below, DM us, what exactly the conversion method for you is. Different people have different conversion methods. And last of all, after they are converted, they have now become a paying client. They've already been in your community, but now they crossed that threshold. They paid you money. They're now a paying client. And so how do you serve them in a way that is amazing? Very important. Delivery, really critical in this day and age. Information alone as a delivery is not sufficient. It's not enough. Why? I can get a lot of information on ChatGPT. Why would I need information alone from you? But if you can help them see about what the useful information is, how to implement it, how to overcome the resistance they have in their minds. When I work with a lot of clients, a lot of them have resistance right here. They know what to do. They got the tools to do it. They can't bring themselves to do it because of fear. They scared. They're not clear. They're not motivated. They don't feel they're good enough. They don't want to accept money because they don't think they're worth that money. If you have all those barriers, hey, you know what? Gotta help the clients overcome those mental barriers. Begin somewhere. Clear path. What to do. That's where working together with clients is. Very important to do that. Then as you work together with clients, very important to get them to what? Renew, stay on, refer. Then we build out the entire process. Beyond the 5C's, it gets you to a great place where the clients are happy, they stay on. That's the final C. That might not even be the end path of the entire business. Because why? For you as a business owner, even though the clients are happy, you need to eventually build a team, systemize things, be able to empower leaders to rise up, to take over elements of the business. Very important. And then afterwards, be able to package all of these things so you have time freedom, financial freedom, location freedom, and who knows, the final stage, the ability to eventually, if you want to, not saying you should, but something planned in your mind, if you want to sell it one day. So this is the entire path. After doing this for 18 years, close to 2 decades, it is a path. It's not a magic button. It's not just, hey, I create content, everything will be fine. No, it is a path. I've given you the 5C's, even given you a glimpse, a snapshot of what lies beyond. So this is what it takes to get to where you want to be. And what is our function as we wrap this up? We help clients be able to start out with the character, find out who that person is, be able to have the balls, the courage to sit behind the fucking camera and sit down and be able to shoot this stuff. Then afterwards, then it doesn't end there. Build that community, whatever platform you want, but with consistency. And then afterwards, know how to convert, and then know how to serve and deliver, know how to keep these clients happy long into the future. And then be a great leader. You can think, oh my God, that's a lot of fucking work. Yes, it is. It's quite a lot of work. That's why we are here. Okay, so if you enjoy this stuff, you know what? Follow us. Follow me. If you are already at a point where you want some help, you smart enough. Click somewhere, find our email or our social media. You can follow me on IG. Drop me a DM. We see how we can help you. If you want to be part of the community, I'm quite sure we have put the link somewhere. It's very important to practice what you preach. So do whatever you want. And I look forward to serving you more with more of these videos very, very soon. I hope this has been helpful for you.